Brett Velicovich is joining me now, former U.S. Army Special Operations Intelligence Analyst, drone expert, member of Delta Force. Brett, it's great to talk to you again. How are you?
Hey, how you doing?
As we get ready for Memorial Day weekend, I just want to point out that you are truly an American hero, and I'm sure you have many comrades you'll be remembering this Memorial Day weekend as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm happy to celebrate this weekend, and it seems like Memorial Day weekend and 4th of July, just like this tape rolls through my head of like all the friends and colleagues and people we lost, and we'd like to share these stories with friends and family and keep them in our hearts.
President Trump has certainly put a renewed focus on the U.S. military and defending the American people. Let's start with this announcement this week of the Golden Dome. Can you explain that in terms that I could understand what the Golden Dome is and what it's supposed to do, how it's going to work?
Yeah, sure. It sounds epic, doesn't it? The Golden Dome sounds scary, but it is meant to be a bit scary to our adversaries, right? It's really meant to be an advanced missile defense system that's sort of this multi-layer integrated defense shield that leverages ground, sea, air, space-based technologies, satellites, interceptors, and it's meant to protect America against modern day threats. People liken it to sort of the Iron Dome, but it's a lot different than that. It's so much more, because Iron Dome in Israel is really focused on short range missiles, right? Israel's enemies are very, very close. Ours are long, across oceans. And so we're focused with this new project on these intercontinental ballistic missiles, hypersonic missiles, which have just become really, really the next generation threat to us that we're seeing North Korea and China build out. And it's meant to protect against all the new age systems. And frankly, our defenses are outdated. I don't think a lot of Americans realize just how outdated our U.S. missile defenses are. If you were to look at sort of what we have protecting us now, we've got defenses that are designed to counter rogue threats, but they're over 20 years old, and they'd have little effect these days against the hypersonic weapon systems that are out there that we need to get ahead of. And so I'm glad that President Trump is focused on this project. It's a big endeavor. It's going to require a lot of different companies coming together, integrating new technologies, and I'm glad to see that we're putting some funding to this.
Every time you or another expert who knows how our defense capabilities work says that our defense capabilities are outdated, it scares the heck out of me. And with new technology emerging all the time, you mentioned the hypersonic missiles that are being developed. This is new technology that we really had not anticipated. And the best time to intercept a missile is when it launches. You don't want to give it a lot of flight time. You want to be able to get that threat eliminated as quickly as possible.
Yeah, you're exactly right. I mean, the fact is we face global threats like never before. China, North Korea, Iran, Russia. Our enemies have developed offensive missile systems that can reach out and strike us here at the homeland in ways we never envisioned before. And so we have to adapt fast. And this Golden Dome system is going to be the most powerful missile defense system ever built. And really, this is about focusing on countering what China is rapidly doing. And we learned, I think yesterday, China really isn't happy with this Golden Dome system. And of course they aren't, because it's a direct threat to their long-term strategy. And that, frankly, is a great thing to us. We learned that China just in the last month, based on some exercises that occurred in the Pentagon, had the ability with their current hypersonic missile systems to take out all of our U.S. aircraft carriers within just 20 minutes of launch. And that should be scary to people. They're also amassing dozens of missiles in space, basically orbiting missiles in space that they want to equip with nuclear warheads that have the potential of destroying our civilization. And so that's exactly what this new dome is designed to counter. And if done right, it's really going to render a lot of these intercontinental missile threats obsolete. And we've got to do that to just protect ourselves from the 21st century threats that we face.
Just mentioning the technology again, to go back to that for a second, we've heard all of the headlines over the last couple of weeks about problems with air traffic control stations around the country, especially in Newark, and their radar systems going out, their communications going out. That's also technology that's 20 years old, and I'm sure there are components of our commercial air traffic control system that are built into our defense system. And if ATC is failing, that means that our defense systems could also be failing.
Yeah, you're exactly right. I think that there are a lot of systems, legacy systems in the U.S. that we need to wipe the dust off of and revamp. And a lot of that, I think, if you remember the drone threats that we faced in New Jersey and Langley Air Force Base, where we had these drone incursions, which frankly we still don't have great answers on what happened there. A lot of the reason we don't have answers for what occurred was because we just don't have great detection systems out there, and a lot of that is restricted. Our government, the FAA, the FCC, they're protecting some pretty significant airspace, but at the same time, we have threats that we need to be able to be prepared for, and a lot of that is going to come from the advancements in drone technology. And what's really interesting to me about this new weapon defense system is the space component. We're going to have apparently space-based defense systems. We're talking hundreds potential low Earth orbit satellites all working together for missile detection, missile tracking. Some are going to be even equipped with kinetic missile interceptors and lasers from space. It sounds crazy, but it's the reality that we're dealing with right now to have to neutralize these threats. And so you're going to see a lot of systems that have to talk to each other, and that's going to require a revamping of our domestic infrastructure, or the systems that protect our air bases, the systems that protect our airports. They're all going to have to work together to sort of create this geofence, this virtual shield to protect against these long-range threats.
We're talking to Brett Velicovich, Delta Force operator, author of Drone Warrior, an elite soldier's account of the hunt for America's most dangerous enemies. You talk about drones and the threat that we're learning from China about drones. Just this week, news of a giant Chinese drone mothership. And you're right, we don't know what those drones were off the eastern coast, whether they were just commercial DJI drones or if they were a foreign threat. How alarmed should we be about this new, improved, enhanced drone threat from countries like China?
China is expanding its military capabilities at a level we've never seen. If you even listen to Secretary Marco Rubio recently, he came out and frankly said China's expanding their military at a rate no other military in the history of the world has expanded in the cyberspace, in building ships and increasing their forces.
Navy,
and a lot of that
outnumbers our Navy.
Right. And a lot of that includes drone technology, right? So they contracted a company, a domestic defense company within China, to build 1 million small handheld drones by 2026. 1 million, producing 1 million. We don't have manufacturers that produce 1 million drones in the United States in 1 year. We're not at that level. And when you see what's going on overseas in Russia, in Ukraine, they're producing massive amounts of drones at scale. It's almost like ammunition to them. They're producing these as if they're artillery rounds. A lot of people think of drones as like surveillance, but really they're being used as ammunition now on these battlefields. And that's the next war. We're never going to fight another war without drone technology. And knowing what I know currently about the current state of drone tech and how lethal and advanced it's come just in the last few years, I have zero confidence that we have the current capability in America to deter a massive, large-scale drone attack on our homeland. And that is something that keeps me up at night, because I just know how lethal this technology is and how it's being used overseas. I mean, we had Chinese spy balloons flying above us going unnoticed for a long time. And it seems like we spend more money seemingly propping up these foreign countries' defenses instead of our own, and that's got to stop. We've got to first and foremost protect our own citizens, protect our own house before we look to protect others. And this is why we're looking internally now at making sure we can defend our country in ways that we just need to protect against future threats.
So drone swarms and hypersonic missiles will be the next thing to keep us up at night. Brett, thank you for your time.
Yes.
BrettVelicovich.com, author of Drone Warrior, an elite soldier's account of how the hunt for America's most dangerous enemies. It's great to catch up with you, my friend.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate you.
Middays with Gerard Gibbert continues here on Super Talk Mississippi. I'm Scott Sands.